Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate you all being here. Everyone everywhere is at risk for contracting periodontal disease and interproximal cavities. Now, there is a simple and cost effective measure that can help reduce that incidence greatly. However, in a study done by Doctors Corby and Briesbach in 2008, most Americans don't utilize this procedure. What is it? It's simply flossing. For your own sakes, I hope that you all today commit to daily flossing your teeth. I'll share with you why this is an essential part of our daily healthcare routine and go over the dangers and eventual costs of not flossing. Personally, as a dental assistant and dental school applicant, I've shadowed dentists for hundreds of hours and assisted with several of these procedures, and I have been very blessed to have that experience to back up this information. So, why does this really matter? Most Americans don't floss their teeth, so what? As life expectancy in the United States increases, we need our teeth for longer, because our teeth don't usually last as long as the average American will live. In that study done in 2008, well, actually another study done by doctors Monteverdi and Keshen in 2008, they found that periodontal disease will lead to bone loss and necessitate tooth extraction if it gets really bad. So what happens when you don't floss? That food gets between your gums, and then bacteria can start to proliferate and multiply, and that infection can cause periodontal disease. We'll go a little bit more into what that means later. That can cause the gums to recede and the bone to recede and eventually necessitate extraction. So how can we avoid those risks? How can we avoid expensive root canal infections and interproximal cavities? To start flossing after a lifetime of not flossing can be really difficult. So there's lots of different ways to start habits in our life. However, what's helped me the most is a little thing called habit stacking, which is what I've learned from the BYU Idaho Wellness Center. However, please use whatever works best for you. If you're the kind of person that writes down their goals and puts them on the bathroom mirror, if that works for you, go for it. If whatever works for you is setting an alarm on your phone to go off daily and remind you of your goal, that might help as well. An accountability partner might be very helpful to let someone, a trusted friend or family member, know your goal and help them follow up with you by maybe sending a daily text message. What I've learned about habit stacking from the BYU Idaho Wellness Center is to add a habit to a daily habit you already have. So if you have a daily habit of taking a nap after lunch, maybe you could put that floss right next to your pillow so you can remember each day to start flossing or floss right after your nap. If you have a daily habit of perhaps going on a walk, you can commit to flossing right before your walk each day so that you don't forget it. You already have that habit in there. Personally, what helped me, I was already brushing every day, but I wasn't really flossing. So what helped me was to just put that little floss pick on top of where I put my toothbrush so that I would have to pick up my floss each day. Whatever works with you, go for it so that you can have this habit in your life. Now, a lot of people don't like to floss because it can be a little painful and it can even bleed at first for the first few times that you floss. Now, why is that? In a study done by Dr. Sunkara and Sullivan in 2022, they found that the act of not flossing over time gets that bacteria in between the gums along with a little bit of food. That can cause inflammation. That's what causes red blood cells and white blood cells to be sent to that area because of the bacteria and food that's there already. And then when you floss, those capillaries that have become engorged can actually rupture and then cause bleeding. However, in that same study done in 2022, they found that flossing daily helps reduce the incidence of that inflammation and also makes your gums appear pinker and healthier. So there's a cosmetic advantage as well. So what does this really look like? Let's think about what this might look like if we don't floss. Let's say we're chowing down on some popcorn, as we do, and we have a little bit of popcorn kernel get stuck between our teeth. And we keep chewing, and that little popcorn kernel gets shoved farther down in the gingiva, right between the gums and the tooth. Now that is made out of cellulose, that little popcorn kernel, which is a beta-glucose polymer, which can be metabolized very easily by that bacteria. which will begin to proliferate, multiply, engorge in size. And that infection causes pressure between the bone and the tooth. That pressure signals the odontoclasts to break down the tooth structure there so that it relieves the pressure. However, that bone loss can break the periodontal ligament between the tooth and the bone, which causes the tooth to become wiggly, unusable for chewing, and a little painful. That can lead to having to be extracted. If those bacteria make it all the way down the root canal and to the nerve, then they will start to eat away at that nerve, and it will be painful and necessitate a root canal therapy. However, both these diseases can be prevented by flossing and getting all that residual food out of there. Imagine that you stack your habits, set an alarm on your phone, or get an accountability partner, or whatever you have to do to start flossing daily. Your gums will stop bleeding, they'll have a healthier appearance, and you'll be able to chew on those beautiful pearly white teeth well into your 70s on your steak dinners. So if you want to enjoy having those teeth in your old age, what are you willing to do about it? If you're not willing to make this daily commitment, what have you all been listening to this speech for this long for? Flossing daily has clinically been shown to reduce the incidence of expensive and painful oral diseases in a study done by doctors Cruz and Banting. Daily flossing is a cheap and quick procedure that can help you improve the aesthetic of your smile as well as your overall oral health. So commit to making a change today. If you don't floss daily, stack it onto another habit and do whatever it takes to save your teeth. Thank you.
Good job!
I appreciate it. Y'all are the best.